Catherine here, and I'm a doctor in natural medicine, and today I'm finally making the video you all have been asking for. Today we talk about how to start improving your GFR and creatinine numbers in all the stages of kidney disease, even in stage 5. So today we are going to see what to do in each and every stage of CKD, alright? And there is also an essential mineral with antioxidant properties I want to show you because, well, it actually works. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into stage 3. Then, we'll also see what works for stage 4 and 5. I've got some tailor-made dietary advice, some personalized supplement recommendations, and also a short list of things to watch out for, like your life depends on it. Because, well, it actually does. Before that, let's pretend you are a stage 3 patient and you are here in my office, ready to talk to me. Hold up, why am I skipping stage 1 and 2, you ask? Because if you've been diagnosed in stage 1 or 2, congratulations, you've still got enough kidney function to live a perfectly normal life. You're basically still in the kiddie pool, no need for the big boy renal diet yet. And forget about those hardcore CKD meds for now. But does that mean if you stroll into my office in stage 1 or 2, I'm gonna wave you off like a fly at a picnic? Am I gonna tell you to go ahead and chain smoke your life away, guzzle down tequila like it's water, and bet your last penny on that sure thing in an alley somewhere? No, of course not. I'm not here to hand out free passes to self-destruction. So here's the deal. If you are diagnosed in stage 1 and 2, usually it's either because of kidney damage that's visible in imaging tests or because someone noticed in a checkup you have protein leaking in your urine. Either way, these are not the kind of problems that just fix themselves like, the check engine light in your car. You need to nip that in the bud before it blossoms into something ugly, which means that you want to find out and take care of the cause of the damage. Usually, what is causing issues with the kidneys are conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, or in some cases, autoimmune or inflammatory conditions such as IgA nephropathy or glomerulonephritis. So here's what you need to do. First off, make sure you know what's causing the damage. Some of the conditions I've mentioned are treatable, which means you should never delay treatment initiation. And of course, you will want to focus on your general health. Remember, what's good for your heart is good for your kidneys as well. Okay guys, let's talk about CKD stage 3 now. But don't skip this part even if you are in stage 4 or 5. Because the treatment for CKD stage 3 is all about getting rid of the nasty renal toxins that are damaging your kidneys. And trust me, these toxins don't pack up and leave just because your CKD decides to level up. Nope, they are just like spam emails. The more you wait, the more you get. So the million-dollar question, what the hell are renal toxins and how do we evict them from your body? Renal toxins or uremic toxins are those toxins that the kidneys are supposed to remove. Stuff such as urea, creatinine, uric acid. These toxins are the reason why people with kidney failure actually need to do dialysis, alright? And there are 2 ways we are going to get rid of these toxins: antioxidant therapy and the diet. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick with these 2 like they're your new best friends, even as your CKD advances, even if you are already on dialysis with few adjustments. More about this later on in this video. But let's go with order and let's talk about antioxidant therapy. So we are still having an imaginary stage 3 patient here. And what I would suggest them is getting a lot more antioxidants, just like I would suggest to a stage 4 or 5 patient. Yes, in medical literature, there are documented cases of dialysis patients that were able to stop needing dialysis after receiving an antioxidant therapy, as we can see. By the way, this was done with CoQ10, a powerful antioxidant that I recommend taking with selenium. And while this is not a result we can reliably aim for, when the patient is already in dialysis, it's very clear in my experience that CKD patients in all the stages can benefit from this type of treatment, especially those in stage 3, and especially if they are suffering from conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, proteinuria, or inflammatory or autoinflammatory disorders. Now, one antioxidant I don't mention very often here is zinc. Now, this is very interesting. Having low levels of this mineral is linked to faster CKD progression even in the general population. And of course, CKD patients tend to have low levels for this mineral because, we never miss out on anything, do we? So lately, I have been starting recommend to supplement zinc as a part of an antioxidant therapy. In fact, supplementing this nutrient is linked to reduced kidney damage done by diabetes, improved outcomes with high blood pressure, and patients with IgA nephropathy seem to benefit even more from zinc supplementation. Now, even more interesting, some recent studies are linking zinc supplementation to delayed CKD progression. So yeah, this is a mineral that you will probably want to supplement in all the stages of CKD. Now, when it comes to zinc, absorption may be an issue. There are various forms of zinc you could choose: citrate, acetate, glycerate, and more. The one I recommend is usually zinc picolinate. This seems to maximize zinc absorption, so you can take a daily dose as low as 30 milligrams. You can also supplement some vitamin C with your zinc supplement to maximize absorption. In any case, take zinc away from meals, especially if you are taking a calcium phosphate binder, since calcium and zinc compete for absorption. But zinc is just one of the many antioxidants you want to supplement. And now you may ask, what's the big deal? Why do I need all those antioxidants now? Well, let me explain. The way in which most pathologies damage the kidneys is through something called oxidative stress. So for example, in diabetes, high blood sugar levels lead to the overproduction of free radicals, particularly superoxide, which triggers various harmful pathways that damage the kidneys. Chronic inflammation involves the activation of immune cells like macrophages, which produce free radicals. Proteinuria and high blood pressure are similar since both generate reactive oxygen species, ROS in short, which are harmful free radicals. So yeah, I think you get the picture. Your kidneys are under siege, and if you don't start fighting back now, all you'll have left is some scar tissue and a bunch of regrets. And how do we stop these free radicals from turning your kidneys into a war zone reminiscent of Poland after World War II? Simple, we bombard them with a metric crap ton of antioxidants. Now let's talk about selenium, shall we? This little mineral is another powerhouse antioxidant, and guess what? Most CKD patients are running on empty when it comes to selenium, and given what I just said about free radicals, you may understand why having low levels of this essential mineral may be bad for your kidneys. But wait, there is more. CKD patients are also typically deficient in a whole laundry list of antioxidants, including vitamin C, vitamin E, and glutathione, and more. So yeah, when you have CKD, your body loses essential nutrients like a Boeing 737 MAX loses doors. You know what, guys? How come all these essential nutrients that also act as antioxidants are always low in CKD patients? I'm starting to think that all these antioxidants are low in CKD patients because the body uses them to combat free radicals. Could it be that oxidative stress is depleting essential nutrients in CKD patients? This could have a huge implication on dietary recommendations and daily nutrient intakes for people with CKD. Nobody ever made a paper about this. I could publish. I could just uncover. Hey! This is my idea. Don't even think about. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got a little carried away there. Forget what I was just saying. But seriously, guys, the takeaway is that there are several antioxidants that could really help those with CKD, and I'd recommend starting with them by the time you hit stage 3. In my experience, some of the most effective antioxidants for kidney health include vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, NAC, selenium, and CoQ10, of course. But I don't recommend starting all these at once. Actually, I recommend getting informed about each single supplement before taking it. Nobody wants to overdose on vitamin C and end up with a kidney stone the size of a golf ball, right? So, get informed. Speaking of which, I'll be doing a new video about antioxidants shortly, so stay tuned, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss it. Okay, things are getting hot. Let's talk about stage 4 now. A lot more patients are going to be diagnosed when they reach CKD stage 4, and this is because symptoms are finally loud enough to get some attention. Now, if you are diagnosed in stage 4, don't lose hope. You can still do a lot to improve. So let's pretend that you're sitting in front of me and you are a stage 4 CKD patient. Now, the very first thing I will do is grab your lab tests and dive in like they're the final season of my favorite Netflix show. Why? Because I need to see if this person has complications and if they are receiving adequate treatment, because the whole treatment for this person is going to depend on that. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm not just gonna double check if this person has complications. With some stage 4 patients, I will have to count how many complications this person has that no one's bothered to treat. And trust me when I say that sometimes I will need more than one hand to count them all. So here's the big problem we are going to have to face starting in stage 4, complications of CKD. Complications are all those health conditions that are caused by kidney disease and that may, cause serious kidney damage. There are several complications that we need to pay attention to, and I will mention them from the most diagnosed to the least diagnosed, alright? Most diagnosed is hyperkalemia or too high potassium levels. Most patients know if they have this issue, luckily, but unfortunately, many of them don't receive the appropriate treatment. Yeah, telling someone to avoid bananas is just like finding they are in a sinking boat and deciding to patch the hole with duct tape. Then there is mineral and bone disorder, or as I like to call it, the nightmare of wacky lab results. Low calcium, high phosphorus, low vitamin D, assuming they even bothered to check that, and let's not forget high PTH, which is basically your body's way of screaming, "Help, my bones are about to stage a revolt and my thyroid is gonna be next." You'd think with all these red flags, this would be hard to miss. But nope, many patients don't find out they've got a bone problem until, when their bones start to, yeah. So always keep an eye on the levels I just mentioned, guys. You can also screenshot the slide on screen if you want. Now let's talk about the underdogs, those complications that are ignored even more often than bone issues. We've got metabolic acidosis lurking in the shadows, but the renal MVP of medical neglect is anemia. Anemia is probably the most ignored serious pathology on the planet for some reason. Maybe because doctors think that patients with anemia are too tired to sue them? Who knows? But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. If you're wondering how to figure out whether you're dealing with one of these issues, I've got you covered. I made a whole video about it. Link it's up here and also down in description. And yes, I have also talked about possible treatments for these issues because I'm not about to let you wander around in the dark. Now guys, there is one treatment that's a must in order to decrease the risk associated with all these complications. Let's talk about the diet for kidney disease. because I want you to keep this in mind. Many of my patients had huge improvements in their symptoms, proteinuria, nocturia, swelling, itching, fatigue, when they started to follow a proper renal diet. Why is that, you may ask? Because most of the symptoms of kidney disease are caused by toxin buildup, alright? And most of these toxins actually come from the metabolism of one single molecule, the nitrogen in the amino acids that form protein. The more toxins you're creating and your kidneys are working overtime without getting so much as a thank you. We're talking around the clock shifts, holidays included, with no pay or benefits. If your kidneys were employees, they'd be striking en masse and filing a class action lawsuit. Yeah, it's time to give them a break. That means cutting back on protein. And let's be clear, if you are in stage 4 or 5 of CKD, following a renal diet isn't just a good idea. It's a non-negotiable. By the way, patients in stage 3 are also supposed to follow a renal diet, alright? So let's talk about those foods that you thought were your best friends but are actually traitors in disguise. Lean meat, fatty fish, dairy, they're like that charming friend who secretly talks smack about you behind your back. And don't even get me started on the junk you already knew was bad. Red meat, processed meat, junk food, sugar, and all those ultra-processed carbs. These are the prime suspects pumping nitrogen and other uremic toxins into your system. The fewer of these you've got floating around, the less likely your kidneys are to go on a strike. Now I get it. When someone walks into my office and I start talking about diet changes, they look at me like I just suggested they give up oxygen. Won't I need the protein? They ask. Won't a plant-based diet make me weak? They're confused, and honestly, who can blame them? The internet's full of so much dietary nonsense. It's a wonder anyone's still alive. But here's the truth. CKD patients absolutely need to start a low-protein diet. The sooner, the better. You are only going to feel weak if your diet is not properly adjusted for you. If you are not eating enough calories, for example, or you are not supplementing accordingly to your new diet. That's why you need someone who actually knows what they're talking about to set up a diet that works for you. So if your doctor or dietitian is still pushing yogurt and fish like it's 1995, it might be time to reconsider your options. I'm opening up my schedule for more one-on-one video consultations because honestly, I can't stand to see another kidney cry out for help while its owner is drowning in misinformation. If your goal is to protect your kidneys and you're tired of playing diet roulette, shoot me an email to Catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com so we will be able to talk. You will also find a link in description to contact me directly if you are interested. Okay guys, up next, what should you do if you get diagnosed with CKD stage 5? Stage 5 is when most patients are started on dialysis, and if possible, they can also be put on a transplant list. Now guys, my best advice for anyone who is in stage 5 is to hang on tight and survive. Consider starting dialysis if you need to. Stay on that transplant list if you are given that option. And there are still a few little things that we can do to preserve that little renal function is left in stage 5. For example, an issue I see many dialysis patients have is swelling. This is especially a problem for those on hemodialysis, and it can be alleviated by reducing fluid intake. Another problem in stage 5 is phosphorus management. Dialysis is very effective at removing certain uremic toxins, but not all of them. Phosphorus is a common issue for people on dialysis. In fact, when on dialysis, you are supposed to eat a little bit more protein because now you are doing dialysis, which is going to remove nitrogenous toxins. What they don't tell you is that dialysis doesn't really remove phosphorus that well. So you go back to eating steak and boom, your skin itches like crazy. What to do? Reduce protein intake and most importantly, focus on foods that are low in phosphorus while being rich in high quality protein. Some examples: egg whites and soy-based foods, including tofu, are your best friends here. Even fishes like tilapia and haddock have a good phosphorus to protein ratio, but nothing beats egg whites. And guys, I know I rarely talk about stage 5 CKD, so if you want me to make more content about this, let me know in the comment section. Or if you want to know more about the renal diet for all the stages, watch this video up here, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Ciao, ciao.